Okay, as we look at our problems on our Chapter 1-2 exam review, you're going to notice the very first problem it says, complete the patterns below. So you're going to notice that if you look at this pattern, you're just going to discover what are they doing to get to the next one in the pattern. So from number to number, what's happening here. And if you look real closely, you're going to notice that they're actually adding 9, because 3 plus 9 is 12, 12 plus 9 is 21, 21 plus 9 is going to be 30. And so then you're just going to go ahead and complete the pattern by adding 9 to the 30. So I'm going to add 9 to 30, I'm going to get 39. I'm going to add 9 to that, and I'm going to get 48. So the answer to the number 1 will be 39 and 48. So same thing is happening on number 2. You're going to notice that we are subtracting 3. So 5 minus 3 is going to be 2. 2 minus 3 is going to be negative 1. Negative 1 minus 3 is going to be negative 4. So I'm going to subtract 3 right here. I'm going to take negative 4 minus 3 is going to give me a negative 7. And then negative 7 minus 3 is going to give me a negative 10. So those two answers are going to be negative 7 and negative 10. And on number 1, you got 39 and 48. Okay, on this next problem on number 3, it just wants me to round that number to the nearest 1,000. So you just got to remember what number is in the thousandths place. So if you remember correctly, this number right here, so this is your ones, this is your tens, this is your hundreds, and this is your thousands. So to go ahead and decide how to round that number, the nearest 1,000, you always look at the digit off to the left, or sorry, to the right. And so here I am, I'm looking at this digit right here, this 5. And remember, if it's 5 or greater, you're going to round up. And if it's less than 5, you're just going to keep it the same. And so this number is is 5 or greater, so this is going to become 214. And then just go ahead and fill in the zeros afterwards. So that'd be 214,000. So you always just fill in the zeros on the digits on the right. Same thing applies to this next problem right here. It wants us to go ahead and round this off to the nearest 10. So remember, this place right here is your 10 place right there. Since that's your 10 place right there, you're going to go ahead and look at the number to the right of it, and that's an 8. So that's 5 or greater, so we're going to round that up from a 4 to a 5. So notice you still keep your 2, your 1, your 3. You got your 5, and then that 4 becomes a 5 also. And so your answer is going to be 213,550. Now this next problem says, estimate the nearest dollar cost of an Uber that charges $5.39 to pick you up, and 95 cents for each mile if you're traveling 12 miles. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and round this off to the nearest dollar. So notice, I'm going to go ahead and round this right here. So I've got $5.39. I'm going to round that to the nearest dollar. So here's $5.39. So notice this number right here is a 3. So that's going to round down to $5. And then notice that 95 cents, I'm going to go ahead and round that off to the nearest dollar. So notice I look right here, this is a 9. And so that's going to round up to $1. So now that I've rounded those off, I'm going to go ahead and take this $1 times 12 because I've gone 12 miles, and it's going to cost me $1 for each mile. So I'm going to multiply this by 12. And $1 times 12 is going to be $12. And so notice I still have to add the $5 to it because that's how much they're charging just to pick me up. And then I take $5 plus $12, and that's going to give me a total of $17. On this next one it says, I'm planning a trip to Burley, which is approximately 40 miles away. If I'm going 80 miles per hour, how long will it take me to get there? So notice, I'm going ahead, go ahead and use my formula, distance equals rate times time. So notice that's 40 miles. I have to travel. I'm going 80 miles per hour. So at 80 miles per hour, you're going to notice that distance equals rate times time. So my distance that I'm going is 40 miles. The rate that I'm going is 80 miles per hour. I'm going to take that times the time because that's how long it would take me to get there. So I'm going to divide both sides by 80. And so I go and take 40 divided by 80. And 40 divided by 80 reduces all the way down to 1/2. It's going to take me half an hour to get there. And so that would be my answer. If you want to change that to minutes, so you're going to notice that half an hour is 30 minutes. So if you want to rewrite that as minutes, that's perfectly fine. So your time would be equal to also 30 minutes because that's half an hour. So either answer will work. So either one that you want to use would be just fine. Okay, now on this next one, it says on my trip to Burley, I know my car will average 20 miles to the gallon. How many gallons of gas will I use on my trip there and back again? So remember, I'm going ahead and traveling to Burley, which is 40 miles. 40 miles to Burley. And notice I'm going there and back again. So 40 miles there plus 40 miles back again. That's going to be a total of 80 miles that I will have traveled to get to Burley and back again. So I'm averaging 20 miles to the gallon. So if I'm averaging 20 miles to the gallon, if I take 80 miles divided by 20 miles per gallon, well, 80 divided by 20 is going to be 4 gallons. So I'm going to be using 4 gallons of gas to get to Burley and back. So this next problem, it says that on number 8, it says describe the pattern found in the sets below using set builder notation. So I've got my set A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 21. So notice set builder notation. I'm going to go ahead and still write down my A equals set builder notation is kind of a description of what is in my set. So remember, I write down my x, so that's the variable that I'm using. So x such that x is a number, and notice it is a natural number. From 1 to 21. So that's how I describe it. And that's how I describe my set right there. On this next one, so notice right here, so B equals, and then notice my set right here are the math teachers from that are here at Kimberly High School. So X such that X is a math teacher. At Kimberly High School. And so that is a description of it. Okay, now it says build a set that would include the following elements using roster form. All colors of the rainbow that begin with a vowel. And remember, colors of your rainbow, so R stands for red, O is orange, Y is yellow, G is green, B is blue, I is indigo, and V is violet. So we just have to go ahead and write down those that begin with a vowel. So as I look at my list right here, orange begins with a vowel, and so does indigo. So using roster form, I just actually write down the answers. So I'm going to go ahead and write down my set C. So C for colors, you can use whatever you want to. So colors are equal to, and then I'm going to go ahead and put in my set notation. And I'm going to write it out, orange, comma, indigo. Okay, now this next one on number 11 says wants all even numbers less than 23. So I'm just going to go ahead and use E for even. Got E equals, put in my set notation, and then I'm going to list all the even numbers less than 23. So got 2, 4, 6, 8, and once you've established your pattern, you can just put 3 little dots there, and then put in the last even number less than 22, and then put in your set notation.